Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing interview for you guys today. We got the guys from Bitperp. Bitperp is building it's going to be one of the leading leverage platforms on Bitcoin. It's on Bitcoin, guys. That's the only thing that matters to us. We don't care about any other chain. Well, any other chains if with leveraging nothing. We care about what's going to be in our ecosystem. These guys are going to be on Botanix, the Spiderchain, and many other side chains. We're going to actually ask them every question in this one. We're going to get you guys all the info you guys need to be aware of Bitperp and really take advantage of their paper trading contest, competition, and everything that comes as well. It's really exciting. And, guys, there's opportunities here. It's opportunities to be early. That's something that I didn't have last time in when I was messing with Ethereum and stuff. I wasn't able to be early. But this time we do. We have every opportunity to be one of the first people to actually play with these platforms, access them, and really take advantage of what it is to be early. And this one is super early, guys. So, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Let me bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? We talk about Bitperp every single day, right? Every day around 12, right around 11:30, we get to them, and they are we do our daily technical analysis that you do a great job on every single day, brought to you by Bitperp. But what can you tell me about Bitperp in general for the person who doesn't really know?
Yeah, Bitperp is a perpetual DEX leverage platform, right? That is coming to mainnet in the Bitcoin ecosystem. We look at the Bitcoin ecosystem, and there's a little bit of barrier to entry in terms of UX, I would say, right? A lot of these people that are from other chains, Solana, maybe Ethereum, Base, whatever, they have really fast-paced trading environments, so they want to trade these Bitcoin fungible tokens, right? And unfortunately, on layer one, it's really clunky, it's slow, but you can do it. And what Bitperp is going to bring is it's going to be able to allow you guys to trade these type of tokens, but in a leveraged environment, right? So, you can be more conservative, take less leverage. You can be a little bit more risky, take a little bit higher leverage, obviously. But the biggest pain point that they're solving is allowing people to trade runes, like maybe $1 Billion Cat or Dog Over the Moon, stuff like that. And I think that that's the pain point that they're trying to solve. And I think that they're doing a great job. We've been in their testnet for the past, I would say, month and a half. And they're about to have their new testnet paper trading competition on Botanix. So I'm excited. They're getting closer and closer to mainnet.
So you're telling me I'll be able to take a leverage on my good friend Mr. Yen, the Japanese businessman?
I hope so, because he does legit business, and he's very consistent. But yeah, I mean, that would be a fun one to take on. Obviously, I'm a big fan of $1 Billion Cat. Dog on the Moon. You can't deny the impact that it has. So these type of tokens, you're gonna be able to trade leverage with them. So I'm excited about that, and excited to dive deep into the founders and the team that we're about to bring up, and kind of what's behind their mind and what they're thinking for the future of Bitperp.
Yep. Let's bring up the core contributors. We got Instant. We got Marine. Welcome to Ordinal Revolution.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, spending time with us today.
Yep. All right, let's kind of get into you guys a little bit. Let's kind of get the community a feel and who you guys are. Let's start with you, Instant. Kind of, if you wouldn't mind, tell us maybe a little bit about yourself, and then maybe jump into your crypto journey.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a core contributor for Bitperp, mostly handling the marketing affairs of our perp decks. Started my crypto journey probably in the last cycle, flipping to central land parcels as my first kind of first look into crypto in general. Mostly was in the ETH ecosystem. Got into NFT flipping, and then Solana came out, Memecoins ended up being a part of like the next cycle, and then obviously the bear came around, but luckily got introduced to the Bitcoin ecosystem sort of during that market when ordinals were kind of popping off. I remember like Bitcoin Frogs was like one of the first collections that like I got super into. And then some friends of mine came together and we created Bitperp to try to capitalize off of this fantastic ecosystem that the whole Bitcoin community is building here.
That's awesome. So you were into the like metaverse parcel flipping last cycle, huh?
Super degen, and it was just kind of started off as a hobby where one of our friends was like, hey, I keep buying this digital land and it keeps going up, and then I was like, no way, let me see. So then we put like a small slush fund together to keep like buying parcels on OpenSea, and then we'd list them for slightly higher, and then obviously road parcels were a little bit more valuable than if you got the inland ones. And so yeah, we just kept on buying like prime real estate, flipping it, buying more, flipping it, yeah, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I know this is a little off topic here, but like obviously Bitmap is a big part of the Ordinal and Bitcoin ecosystem. But from somebody that experienced that, and obviously there was the metaverse crash, right? That was obviously tough. Were you kind of like, I've seen this story before, and you skip it, or were you into the Bitmap thing this cycle?
I feel like I kind of missed like that initial wave of Bitmap. I'm kind of jealous that I didn't get in at the time, because I think it is it is like an interesting play, and I think there is like technology is going to grow out of all these kind of metaverses in the future. But I think at this point I'm just kind of like heads down building. I'm really trying to create something more and like less just kind of like flipping. So yeah.
Yeah, love that.
Amazing. Let's go to you, Marine. Tell us a little about yourself and maybe get into your crypto journey.
So I started like in 2022. I started with signals. I thought I was gonna be rich with signals, following signals, like so that on social media, on Instagram, TikTok. So I got scammed by that. Then I saw Pepe taking off, and with that I got in love with like meme coins and shitcoins. With that, started learning about DeFi and memes more in depth. Started learning on the Twitter, joined some academies to get more insights, some inside info as well, mostly on Ethereum. Then we shifted to Sol, as you know already now. It's Sol Casino, as they call it, because a lot of rug pulls, but lots of shitcoins going like 1000x's in a day. And then I switched to BTC, and the main reason is because BTC is like the king of the crypto. I have a conviction in it, and I have a conviction in runes in general. So yeah, that's from my side.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Not the conviction side, because that's exactly what happened with us. A light bulb went off above our heads, and we said, "Hey, we gotta go into the space." At first, I would kind of laughed at it because I hated the maxis, but then once the light bulb went off, I said, "Wait a second, shitcoins on Bitcoin, these could be worth a lot of money one day." And
Yeah.
I convinced Shizzy to jump in, and we took off since that day, right? Like, well, we slowly grew, but like the space took off. It's interesting that you say that you came over to the mother chain, Bitcoin, and that you fell in love with meme coins, because although there's meme coins and runes, which you said you really believe in, it's a totally different trading environment. So
Yeah.
did you have to adjust to that from trading fast on Pepe and like you're in and out versus okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's like more chill and you can have more conviction in it. I still think it's undervalued, and that's why I have a big conviction in it, because people are yet to recognize our potential with runes, ordinals, and etc. So it's just a matter of time when we pop off. Like the pure example is Dog, is decentralized, amazing community without any big tier one centralized exchanges, brutal volume. So I think it's just a matter of time before we pop off.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no centralized exchange on Dog
Yeah,
right now, and it's still doing crazy numbers to where it hit 900 million. Right? Imagine when
exactly.
it gets on like Binance or Coinbase, possibly. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in volume. Probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, let's kind of dig into to Bitperp. What was the idea behind it, and why a leverage exchange when you guys could have done anything else, but why leverage?
Yeah, I think we're trying to really, solve a core problem in the Bitcoin community, which is, there needs to be more degen stuff to do. Obviously, I think if you look at the success of places like Solana, obviously there's kind of like a reputation there that's going on, but there's also kind of clearly like a market need for, leverage trading on meme coins, kind of like more degen activities. And, I think Bitcoin itself is kind of, a lot more established. It's a lot of long-term holders, just buy more Bitcoin is the main strategy here. But I think with the adoption of, runes and ordinals and those protocols, as well as like, a lot of the other assets that are kind of being built on side chains here. There's a very clear demands for, like meme coins and, obviously like utility, uh, or like things to do surrounding these assets. So, Bitperp originally started about maybe a year and a half to 2 years back as a perp dex for RWAs. And then the advent of runes, or like, the murmurings of runes started to kind of appear. And, the other core contributors and ourselves, came together, and, we thought, why shouldn't there be leverage trading on, some of these Bitcoin assets that are about to emerge? So, yeah, I think at the beginning of, this year, we had, started to seriously work on the platform. Runes had obviously become a thing at that point. And then we've been kind of refining, this platform ever since, and hopefully launching to mainnet very, very soon.
Awesome. So you guys had your paper trading competition, which is absolutely fun. Me and Yagobi both participated, and a lot of our community participated as well. We got a lot of feedback for it and stuff like that. How'd it go on your end, and everything that was that stressful for you guys?
I mean, yeah, super stressful. I mean, it was the first time that the platform was really being battle tested amongst a ton of users. And it's testnet and it's paper trading, so like, it's essentially risk free, and you can just trade in our platform, and win our token as a reward. But testnet is not easy to work with always. Most of the time it's going to be a lot less seamless than the actual platform will be. I made a step-by-step guide on how to use it for the last tournament that we ran, and I think it was like 12 steps total in order to like finally like submit a trade, which is like it's a lot. And so it that was like pretty stressful, like trying to like walk the users through a little bit more of a complex tutorial than it should be, and that will be like required on mainnet. And then the second option is like, obviously it's on testnet. We're still working on the platform. There are a lot of things that need to be fixed, improved, optimized, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, this is like, this is why we do testnets. This is why it's super important to sort of battle test the platform. Because, we've had to do, a lot of fixing in the meantime. From our first trading competition to this next one that's coming up. But all the feedback is super useful. We take it all into account. It goes straight into our pipeline, and thankfully, I think we've addressed most of the issues that we've had so far.
Like obviously the audience that's watching knows that you guys have partnered with us, right? And one thing that I've noticed with and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want to talk about kind of the team structure. You guys are very professional in terms of like meetings and stuff like that. Are you guys naturally from like corporate, or like was it just like you guys just have that good cohesion as a team, with how you guys are tackling this build out?
Yeah, I mean, I think we sort of occupy two worlds as a team. The first world being that like our team is for our like traders, we're degens, we're in the trenches, because we love kind of these meme coins and all these other assets that are a little bit riskier that I think than others. But on the other side, like we're trying to run a very stable platform for trading these assets. We're trying to be um, try to have as solid of foundations as possible when it comes to this. All of us are, from like, you know, I would say like, we're professional, people in general. We come from like, Harvard business backgrounds, some of us. Others, are working on, major companies or exchanges within crypto. So yeah, we try to be as professional as possible, even though we run like a degen perp deck, so to speak.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you got to give the people what they want, and they want a degen. So
How many core contributors is there? You mentioned a bunch of people. I was just curious, and maybe you can tell me each person's role as well.
Yeah, so we have Leveraged 100, who is our CTO, one of the main builders of the platform. We have Rune God, another core contributor, who is one of the co-founders as well. Another core contributor would be Boo, who mostly handles investments, funding, and finance. And then there's myself, mostly in charge of marketing operations. And then we have Marine here, who wears, many different hats, but is also in charge of, community management, outreach, et cetera, et cetera. But all of us being core contributors on the team.
yeah. So, sounds like a well-rounded team, actually. Each department, you got your BD people, you got your marketing, you got your, like just kind of everyday tasks too type of people. Marian, in terms of like the community development side of things, do you feel like it's hard to get people in the Bitcoin ecosystem to get excited about like leverage and perps, or do you think that's like been a so far like an easy seamless task?
I think it's a seamless task because like people that are in the Bitcoin space, they are in there. There are not many narratives like on other chains like Ethereum and Solana. So there are not many new pairs like on Solana and Ethereum. So they have fun here and it's easy to manage them.
Gotcha. But yeah, so I agree that like, there's people that are excited about this kind of trading environment and stuff like that. But like, I think the Bitcoin people might not be as hard to convince as someone that like maybe if your approach is to grab someone from outside the ecosystem. Has that been a part of your focus at all? Like trying to get more Solana degens, more like Ethereum degens, base degens over. And when you say Bitcoin ecosystem or Bitcoin layer 2, do they kind of hesitant? Are they hesitant about it, or is that also pretty seamless?
No, they're actually really interested in this. So I reached out to many of them, trying to onboard them as well. And from what I can see now, from the feedbacks of them, they're really interested in us and what we are building and in the BTC in the general.
Yeah, I'll jump in here actually for a quick second. I do think that like one of the most difficult things about onboarding users from like Solana or Ethereum to like the Bitcoin ecosystem is the user experience in general. Myself having come from sort of that ETH Solana trading backgrounds, and then hearing about ordinals and trying to figure out like how do I trade these things, like why are they called ordinals and not NFTs? I think can be a little bit daunting for new users. So like at Bitperp, for instance, we're really trying to make it as seamless of an onboarding experience as possible for people from these other ecosystems, such as like Ether, Solana, to use our platform, and then therefore like have like instant leveraged exposure to all of these like fascinating and interesting meme coins. That we've come to love over here on Bitcoin.
Yeah, 100% agree. So one thing I love about you guys is that you guys are just really open to these different layer 2 or side chains, if you want to call them that. But like because of you guys, I have used Core for the first time because of Bitperp. I have used BitLayer. I have used was it Bob or no Build on Bitcoin, right? Was one of them, and then it was B Squared.
B squared. Yeah.
B squared, yeah. So you guys are really well rounded, and I never heard of some of the chains that other ones you guys are building, potentially Hemi and Botanix. Botanix was one of those where they came out and they were like really being talked about. But until you guys, I didn't know anyone who was really building there. Could you explain your experience with these different chains and why you guys settled on where you're settling?
Yeah, definitely. I think it comes down to what ecosystems are, I guess, like the right fit for, for us, being a perp dex. Obviously, like we want to prioritize, fast transaction speeds, low fees, just kind of like, seamless trading experience, as I've kind of said before. So, we're really looking to optimize for those. And in addition, like obviously, what chains have like, lots of users and lots of activity going on. Um, and so, I think for the ones that we've settled on, they all sound super, they all kind of like fit these criteria. They have some sort of interesting philosophies kind of within each one. Like BitLayer, CoreDAO, um, B squared. We're currently on those ones for testnet. And then for obviously Botanix is about to launch as well. For mainnet, I think we're gonna do Botanix obviously when they launch. Yeah, Hemi, like we said, uh, BitLayer, Goat Network is another interesting one um, as well. And then obviously like a host of others. We're not being super exclusive right now. I think some people are kind of going the exclusivity route. Our philosophy is kind of like, people want to trade like meme coins in Bitcoin. And we also have the ability through our synthetic model to sort of uh, trade like, any meme coin, I guess, even from other ecosystems within 24 hours. So people can, use whatever preferred L2 they want to, without having to bridge, without having to, go to a million different places to make it happen. Instead, they can just go to their preferred L2, go to Bitperp, and then they have instant, leverage exposure to all of these assets.
I actually think that's a great idea. If you were to ask me last cycle, let's say like, early 2022, if that was a great idea, I'd probably say no. I'd say you should be exclusive and like in the EVM environment. You want to pick one of the winners, Polygon, Arbitrum, one of these, right? But we're like so early in this Bitcoin layer 2 ecosystem that like you can kind of like lay your bets and then see where the volume comes. Is that kind of the perception?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, like each each layer two is giving us different, grant allocation or TVL commitments as well as that's something that we have to factor in. But I think in this cycle, I think we're trying to cast like a wide net, seeing what works the most for Bitperp, what are our users gravitating towards, and then obviously we can put more resources into the ones that are obviously succeeding.
And that's a big deal too, having liquidity there, because I've been playing on decentralized leverage exchanges for a little while, and sometimes I go to make a long, and there's no long liquidity. I can go short all day, but I can't go long, and it's really frustrating. And then potentially I have to use a centralized exchange or go to another DEX. So yeah, I completely understand when you guys say you guys are looking for a partner in a chain that's going to help you guys with liquidity, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, and so we were on these Murray can speak for a second, but I just wanted to add really quick that like all of these teams that we're building on, we're super close with. We've talked, we're close with all the team members from almost all the L2s. Yeah, these ones that we're partnering with are super great. They've given us great benefits, and they've also have a great ecosystem that they're building, which is the other number one thing. So yeah, we're really happy with sort of what we're doing so far.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Murray, did you have something to add there?
No, I just wanted to say that diversification is the key, so we can give the best user experience for our users. So just an add-on.
Yeah. No, I agree. User experience is really gonna set you guys apart if you can really hone in on that. Speaking of kind of competitors, like something that let's say from last cycle that people were used to is like GMX, right? GMX obviously was a leverage platform is on Arbitrum. What would you say that like Bitperp offers that is kind of separates Bitperp from these other kind of standardized leverage platforms?
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is going to be like pretty simple, but like it's the fact that we're offering these like super niche assets, exclusively with the Bitcoin ecosystem. I think we're like really trying to get ingrained within the community. We're actually talked with a lot of the users from our last competition who have provided feedback. We've hopped on calls with them. We've literally walked them through like new UI that we're launching to make it as seamless as possible. So, I think a lot of other perp dexes as well, they kind of just launch their products and then they take like a back seat and say like, okay, this is what it is. But we're actively talking to new users, the community. We're going to be able to, Bitcoin again is it's kind of clunky. It's kind of slow. We're going to be ingrained within the Bitcoin ecosystem. We're trying to be the Bitcoin's go-to perp dex. And so if you want to trade Popcat, or if you want to trade dog, and if you want to go 100x leverage on these, you can just go to Bitperp and then pretty much have all of your solutions met.
Love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's one thing. That's that's kind of a problem with the other places. Is like, yeah, I can trade all these Ethereum coins, these Solana coins on different places, but I can't trade my runes. I can't trade my ordinals, and that's kind of why I'm in this ecosystem, because I'm bullish on them, right? I'm completely bullish. So, why build on Bitcoin? Are you guys really like into ordinals and runes and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is the king of the cryptos, the mother chain. I started out as on flipping an ETH, but I always had Bitcoin. Back in the day, I remember when it reached like $400, and it was like a massive deal. And even like in middle school, my friend was building like a mining machine to mine Bitcoin back in like I don't know 2000, early mid 2000s. So yeah, I've been in like the ecosystem, and then I think it's like truly decentralized, super unique compared to some of the other chains. And although the technology is a little bit slower to build on than some of these other chains, I think it's ultimately like where all roads lead.
Yeah, man.
Also, I want to add on that now is the best time to build on the BTC, in my opinion. As you already know, probably Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is probably coming up, which is super bullish, and that just says the thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a little bit it's a little bit weird, right? You have like these UTXO chains that there's this UTXO Bitcoin ecosystem, and then you have this EVM ecosystem that is catered and focused on Bitcoin, which to me I think is unique because the maxis will say that's not Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, that's what their focus is on, right? How to service Bitcoin, how to service these layer one assets, how to, even if it's synthetically, like how to make the user experience better. What are you seeing with like the Bitcoin layer 2 ecosystem with the EVM side? Like, do you see, like, for example, like when you brought up Hemi, to be honest, like we got a little bit blindsided by that. We're like, okay, Hemi, we got to look into them a little bit more. Are there like more and more that we probably don't even know about? Like if you were to say off the top of your head, instant, because you do a lot of research on it, I'm sure, how many Bitcoin layer 2 from the EVM style would you say exist right now?
I mean, it's a hard question, to be honest. There's kind of like a running joke when I go to conferences where people say like, "Oh, how many layer twos are there?" Like, 17, and then I go, "Oh, now it's 18." Like because they're popping out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. There's probably like, yeah, out of all the ones that are being built, I think there's probably like six or seven, probably like really solid ones that we're using that, and or we're looking into using and we're talking to. I'm trying to see if I can name all of them, but I don't
Yeah, that
bore your
that
audience
probably
with
be
that. But
yeah, that'd probably be a tough task to do, to name them all. But it is interesting. I bring it up because it's like there's a new one popping up every day. And there's probably, if I were to guess off the top of my head, I bet you there's like 40, and there's some that are like in the process of being announced and stuff like that. But like you said, 6 or 7 that you guys are considering, actually being live on. So I imagine that's from that 6 to 10 range is like, okay, there's about 10 that have a chance to like compete. Let's say like a year and a half from now. So that will probably be dwindled down to like, you know, a top 3 or something. Is that fair to say, you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know, one of the things I think is like a lot of the L2s right now are launching. They're either coming online to mainnet, so they've been built out for the past year, and they're coming onto mainnet right now. And then some of them are beginning their you know, their airdrop or points programs. So I mean, these are probably going to be running for the next several months or so. Again, I don't have like any insider information here. I'm kind of, you know, just know as much as anyone else. But you know, I think the real question is like who is going to be, you know, the king of these L2s is what happens when, you know, all these points programs or, you know, these airdrop programs finish up. So I think people are still, you know, getting a feel for like which ones are the best, you know, which ones you know, have the best ecosystems and are going to be, you know, the best to use. And then after probably into Q2 maybe next year, Q3, I think we'll probably start to see like very, very clear, um, yeah, very, very clear, I guess, winners. But you know, I think it's anyone's guess still.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I want to get into like regulation real quick. So, as of the first week of November, we have a new administration that's coming along in January. How important do you guys think you know, proper decentralized regulation is important going forward? And because we know this is the reason why teams are afraid to dox themselves, because you can go to jail for writing a smart contract, for writing immutable code, and that's really messed up. But going forward now, we might actually get real regulation for real projects. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, as a perptex, you know, legislation is huge for us. Like currently, if you're in the United States, you're, you know, not supposed to be using our platform at all. Which means like, you know, you'd have to use a VPN essentially to access our platform. So I mean, it really limits, you know, the number of users who, you know, would potentially be interested. Obviously, like, you know, the States is a huge market. And they use these platforms regardless, but you know, just it's always another step that they have to do in order to, you know, access our platform. So, you know, hopefully, you know, with this new administration coming, we'll have, you know, some of these regulations that, you know, I think are kind of pointless and are really just kind of made by people that don't know what they're doing. They just like, and that's not necessarily like a knock. It's just like they don't have time to research everything. They don't have time to look everything up. It's like most of the time, them imagine they just kind of get like a brief on something, and then it's like, okay, this is, you know, we should do this. So, yeah, I mean, we'd like to see like, you know, turnarounds. You know, I think a lot of the legislation is ridiculous and it really inhibits the growth of the system. But you know, thankfully, it's you know, the United States isn't, you know, the single place in the world where everything, you know, all legislation goes through. You know, there's a lot of other countries that I think are doing pretty well, and you know, are leading to like a free crypto market.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, the SEC won't even let me know if my node monkey is a security or not. Like, I have no idea. They have no idea. They won't even tell me if Ethereum is a security or not. But they'll tell you Bitcoin's a commodity. So that's kind of the only thing that we really get. We really have nothing here to even kind of test the line, because there's no real, you know, regulation.
Yeah, I mean, don't even get me started on taxes. I don't even know. I think, like, I don't know. I think it was in the last one where like you had to account for every single transaction that you know, make. Or I think I said, yeah, you have to account for like every single transaction that you make and calculate it. And you know, I've talked with professionals, and you know, they also have like no idea what to do either. And it's just like it's an absolute mess from like every
Yeah.
department.
That actually worked out for us though, because they postponed that till next year, and then we're about to come into a new administration. So I think that, you know, I feel like we can kind of remove at least, you know, that doom cloud or whatever that's over us, because like they've already stated what direction they're going into. So I'm excited about that. I want to pivot a little bit here. Let's get into this paper trading competition with Botanix. What does this look like? Is it going to be the same setup as the previous paper trading competition, to where I just go to the site, I connect my wallet, the RPC will automatically propagate for testnet, it'll add all that information in, and I can get started claiming my 10,000 USDT, or how will it work?
Yeah, so little bit more information on that. It's going to be very similar to the next competition. We just had kind of word that we are going to be doing a 10,000 USDT prize pool, and also contributing 50,000 BTP, which is our native token, as well into that prize pool as well. So lots of great prizes for you to win. Yeah, pretty much the same. I think the big difference is that we have made massive improvements in terms of fixing any glitches and optimizing the platform as well. Our leaderboard should be completely live as well. So if you make a trade, you should be automatically propagated onto the leaderboard. Yeah, and then we're also going to be doing some more giveaways during the during the trading competition as well. BTP raffles, maybe things for the community like and the person who has like the worst PNL within 24 hours will like win we'll win like some consolation prizes or something ridiculous. Just trying to make it super fun.
That's Shizzy every time.
Yeah, man, it's me.
Oh.
I'm that guy. 100x, baby, 100x.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty bad ones. I think you might have some trouble winning that one. Yeah.
Miriam, you kind of are engaged with the trading aspect of things. Us heading into a alt season eventually that's going to come, whether that's the spring or before. Do you think that the leverage activity is going to increase dramatically, like even like in a new environment like Bitcoin layer 2 environment?
Yep, I think now is December, and from like 15th December until 15th January probably comes like slow period. That's what statistics says. And then from like maybe February, what statistics says that the BTC dominance will drop off, altcoins will start to fly. Many Norvis will be onboarded because of the TikTok and all the media that are already showing the size of the crypto, like we already saw with XRP and like Memecoins on the TikTok, especially with Solana ones. So I think there's going to be a lot of mania with big leverages trying to like get in the move, trying to get into the late move to make the most amount of the money. So yeah, we shall be careful with it. But
That's good.
yeah.
That's good that you said that. I'm glad you said that because, like, it's easy for people to fall into this. I'm going to take like 100x, 50x because everything's running. It doesn't run all the time forever, right? It's like not indefinite. So you just gotta be smart and be an adult. But I know for me, I'm definitely going to be trying to take some chances a little bit, but responsibly. And I think that's the biggest message. Just be a responsible adult, right? And that's with everything in your life. So.
Risk management is the number one key in crypto, so you should be good to go. Don't risk too much, and you're gonna succeed. Like it's the game of probabilities. The outcome of the trade is never guaranteed, so you just need to play the probabilities and followed up with risk management. You're good to go.
100% agree. You don't have to go with thousands of dollars. You can take 20 bucks and you can play with that and learn, and especially take advantage of the paper trading competition where there's no risk. You can just go into it with a mindset that it's real money, and you can really learn a lot. And that's what I've been doing with the competition. I'm actually learning not to do a lot of things, and that actually is going to benefit me when you guys go live.
Exactly. You need to get the conviction, and you get the conviction with experience. You need to like get some screen time. So that's the key. Also, like you said, start with small amount of money. Why? Because the compounding interest will do the thing for you. It's just a matter of time, and the compounding will do its thing. Just need to be patient. This is not like a get rich quick scheme, and yeah, you already know everything.
100%. We like to get rich slowly around here every 4 years. But really appreciate you guys giving us this time and being one of our partners as well. But we'd like to give you guys a stage. If there's anything you guys want to say to our community, it's kind of our thank you for coming on. You guys can say anything you want. The stage is yours.
Yeah, awesome. Well, first off, thanks for having us. It was great to connect with you guys and also share a little bit more personally with your audience as well. We love them. We see them in our Discord popping up, and they're all fantastic. Yeah, I think just look forward to our trading competition. Again, it's free, essentially to use. It's a great place to learn to leverage trade. It's going to be lasting from December 9th, roughly, to December 20th. And then shortly after that, we'll be going into mainnet. We're going to have an airdrop program where you can earn points for our native token BTP. Yeah, and we're going to have meme coins and different BTC assets live on there. We're ultimately trying to make it a place for Bitcoin degens to come together, conglomerate, and kind of discuss all things Bitcoin. So yeah, really appreciate you guys having us on.
Oh,
Yep, thanks for inviting us, and also you guys and your community as well can join us. We have like weekly Discord MEAs where we introduce community to BTP, to our Bit Perp DEX, where we also use the testnet, show how to use it, trade, and yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
during the competition, sorry, not to cut you off. During the competition, we're gonna have like trading sessions in our Discord as well. So yeah, feel free if anyone in the community wants to come on and join or like kind of share their trades, or we'd love to have you guys.
Yeah.
Man. One last question. Do you know if Botanix is incentivized testnet? Because that'd be kind of cool to learn.
So I think this is their what we've been told is like their kind of philosophy is that they are not going to be releasing any token. I don't know if that's changed for now, but that's kind of what we've been briefed on. And they're really trying to make it so that like if you guys want to get into the Botanix ecosystem, you use the actual ecosystem projects. So if you want to get involved in Botanix, then use Bitperp when we launch on that and earn our token, and then that'll be essentially using Botanix. So that's their philosophy.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, good to know. Well, guys, it's been amazing. We appreciate both of you and you guys spending your time with us and the Bitcoin community. And we will talk to you both soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Take it
See you
easy.
guys. Peace. All right, guys, that was an absolutely amazing episode. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to learn. I mean, that's what our show's all about. We want to just teach you guys. Nothing on the show is financial advice. Let's just make sure you guys are understanding that this is everything we do here is for education purposes, and that's what Bitperp is. They're here to kind of teach you right now because of the paper trading contest. Take advantage of this, guys. Learn what's going on and learn what not to do. That's my biggest take.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm excited for the mainnet launch and being able to trade runes and stuff like that. It's going to be huge. Like I always say, we want you guys to take one thing from each episode, each live. It doesn't matter, whatever content we put out, and one thing that you guys can take with you and that you learned from the show, and that'll make us happy. And we definitely appreciate all you guys, watching, because without you guys, we couldn't do what we love to do every day, which is this exact thing. So, if you do have some extra time, we would love if you could check out our partners. Emblem Vault is the interoperability tool for Bitcoin Layer 1 assets. You're going to be able to jump is the action they call it. Ordinals from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Merlin Chain, Bitcoin Layer 1 to Solana to Ethereum, using their LIT protocol. They're also building an awesome AI agent wallet that you're going to be able to, it's like an LLM. So you're going to be able to give commands to, and they're going to be able to do things, buy certain tokens and stuff off of those commands. So it's going to be super exciting. They have their Solana one out now. They're going to have the Bitcoin one out very soon. You can learn more at emblem.vision. And then BetBTC is your predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They utilize ICP and Bitcoin technology for you guys to be able to place bets on their marketplace. If you have an Xverse wallet and you have Bitcoin in there, you can deposit directly from there after you create an account, and it takes 6 blocks. Go sign up today and you get 50 points. They already announced that their points are going to go to their TGE, which is a rune. So take advantage of that, guys. There's awesome bets on there like BitBoy versus Ansem. They're going to box, I think, in 2 days. Shizzy and I already put our bets on there, but check them out at betbtc.win. And then Bitperp, we just talked about these guys, amazing perpetual leverage DEX coming to the Bitcoin ecosystem. Their testnet is live, I believe, already for Botanix at 10,000 USDT. You heard him say it earlier. Prize. So get familiar with the platform. Go to bitperp.io and join that paper trading competition, guys. You can learn more at bitperp.io. Ordinal Hive is the aggregator marketplace for the Bitcoin layer 1 and layer 2 marketplaces, and you're going to be able to find the cheapest ordinals around because they are an aggregator. They grab all ordinals from all the marketplaces. They also have amazing analytics for traders, for professional traders, or people that want to be professional traders. You can see what is hot on secondary marketplaces, what is getting hot, and get in before it really takes off, because that's going to be too late. People are going to dump on you. You want to be able to get in and get out, and you can do that with Ordinal Hive. You can go to beta.ordinalhive.io. If you don't have your Bitcoin address whitelisted or your Merlin address whitelisted, go to their Discord. They will get you whitelisted. And then Fluid Tokens are the UTXO wizards that came from Cardano. They're still building there. Right now, they're working on a bridge from Cardano to Bitcoin and vice versa. They will have a Bitcoin rune that is going to be a one-to-one to their Cardano token that they will have right around the corner for their launch. If you have a Fluid Pass, you're going to be able to stake for that. So make sure you get one if you don't have one. Not financial advice, but I think it's probably a smart move for me, at least. But the biggest thing with Fluid is they are innovators of the retail staking vaults on Bitcoin layer 1. So if you are a founder of an ordinal collection or a fungible token, and you want your holders to be able to earn, you can reach out to Raul, which is the CTO at Fluid Tokens, and get connected and set up a staking vault for your holders. If you can't get through to him, reach out to us. We'll get you guys hooked up. And then Foxy is building the Bitcoin layer 1 metaverse called the Bitverse. They also offer bit miners. So if you need one, go to mscribe and mint one. But the bit miners, they actually mine you assets, real digital assets. The Ultra Mythic, which is the second most rare, it has already started this campaign for you to mine Dog Go to the Moon rune. Guys, make sure you're maintaining your bit miners, because if you're not, you're going to miss out on that. You're going to be sad and mad, but you should have watched our show and you would have known. But anyways, check those guys out. They're doing amazing things. And then Merlin Chain, of course, is your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder and have a protocol on L1 and you want it to be more flexible on L2, reach out to Merlin Chain. They have builder grants and amazing builder support. A couple of our partners already qualified for that grant. And you can too, as long as you're a serious builder and you want to innovate. Apply and they'll check you out. Also, if you are a retail user and you want a faster pace environment than Bitcoin layer 1, you can have an experience on Merlin Chain, Bitcoin layer 2. You can trade for Dog Go to the Moon rune. You can utilize WrapBTC or Merl to trade for that, or Bitmap token. But many things you can do over there, and there's a lot of things coming. So we appreciate you guys for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. And if you guys wouldn't mind checking out ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and get caught up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, especially with the Magic Eden airdrop, we have a VPN right here. Use our VPN. And they get 70% off coupon there. If you're going to Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, we will both be there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But do not wait till next year to get your tickets, as it seems every Friday the price goes up. So do not wait till next year. Do not pay insane prices. For example, I remember the WoW Pass was $3,000, and then at the time of Bitcoin Nashville, it was $30,000. So these things can 10x. So don't take advantage of the low prices and use our coupon here. It helps the show. And if you guys are interested in merch, we have some of the best merch in crypto, not just ordinals, but it has our favorite ordinals, inscriptions and everything else. We got the Bitcoin frogs, we got the pandas, we got the pups, we got the Billy cats, and much, much more. Check everything out at ordinalrevolution.com, hoodies, t-shirts, and everything else. We appreciate you guys, and we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. We really appreciate you guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
Ordinal Revolution. Let's go.